to Zero Clicks. I'm your host, Jaren, and I am sitting here with one of the world's foremost experts on interactive video, Brett Lindenberg, the CEO and founder of Mindstamp. Welcome, Brett.
Thank you, Jaren. It's nice to be here.
Zero Clicks is brought to you by Strategy First, a management consulting firm specializing in business strategy and management processes across multiple industries. Brett is not only the founder of Mindstamp, but he's a damn good tennis player, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But Brett, start us off. Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, I'm the CEO and founder of Mindstamp. I went to the University of Florida, studied computer science. I'm born and raised here in Melbourne, Florida. I moved back here at the beginning of COVID, found groundswell, and just been growing the business ever since.
Tell us about your tech.
Yeah, so Mindstamp is the simplest, most powerful interactive video platform in the world. A lot of people ask, what is interactive video? And it's a pretty new concept. It's been around for a while, but the technology is finally catching up to where it's really powerful now. So if you think of a video, most video experiences, they're linear experiences. So you press play, you watch from front to back, you're just presented with the content, maybe you can skip ahead or behind. Interactive video turns that passive experience into a two-way interactive experience. So not only are you watching, but you're interacting with the video. You're clicking buttons to visit websites. You're answering questions that the video owner wants to ask you. You're choosing your own path through that content via branching or personalization. So it really turns a passive one-way experience into a two-way interactive experience that's better for both the video owner as well as the viewer themselves.
And there's so many ways that you can apply this technology. So during COVID, when people couldn't meet in theaters, they were using your technology to do like a choose your own adventure, and they were still engaging with their audiences. Share with us like a case of a customer or two and how they're using it.
Yeah, so if you can imagine, there's tons and tons of use cases for interactive video, right? From the simplest training, right? Instead of watching that hour-long lecture and then trying to take that 5-question quiz at the end where you don't remember any material, Mindstamp and interactive video lets you put those questions right in the video themselves. So after you watch a 10-minute section, you can ask those questions, you can get more help if you need it. It breaks it down and makes it more granular and more effective learning. Entertainment as well, like you mentioned, we had a studio out of LA put together this really comprehensive choose your own adventure interactive horror experience, right? So interactive choose your own adventure means you choose where the content goes. You'll be presented with an option or 2 options, 3 options, and you choose what path you want to go down. So for that horror one, you're walking, it's really nice, darkly filmed, you're in a sketchy alleyway and you walk up to a car and ask, do you open the door or do you go around to the trunk? And depending on what you choose, you're going to load a new video really quickly in the background and say, okay, you open the trunk. And now you open it, you find something in there, what do you do? So it's almost like a video game in video form. Marketing as well. Obviously, when you're sending somebody a video, you want them to take an action. Interactive video really simplifies that. Put that call to action right there in the video. Put that sign up now, book an appointment, get a demo, whatever it is, you can put that in the video. Creative ways, ask them a question, are you ready to book an appointment? Or just have it hanging out there like that. Sales as well. You're sending these videos out. You want the sales specifically to be personalized. Mindstamp has some really powerful personalization. That's something that I think is slept on a lot, because when people think of personalization, they think of that little 10-second video you get from your bank that's like, hey, here's your 6 charges this month that you don't really watch, you don't really care about, and it's pretty computationally expensive to make those, right? You're creating a new video. Whereas Mindstamp, you can set up templates within a single video. So you can say, hello, name, right? Hey, name, how many employees are in your company? Are you hiring right now? And you can dynamically create one video, one template, send it out to thousands and thousands of people with their name in it, with their company name, their company size, and conditionally show and hide things based on that. So sales, training, education, marketing, corporate communications is another one, right? Instead of taking that webinar that you filmed and putting it on YouTube or sending it out to your company that nobody's going to watch, you can really jazz it up, capture that information of who's watching, ask them how they feel about policies, rather than just let that content kind of go into the content graveyard. You can chop it up, spruce it up with interactive video and get more use out of it.
Yeah. And I notice, so I follow you guys on LinkedIn. I obviously see you here every day, but you are always putting out new features, which seems to me like you are listening really well to your customers, and you're not only listening to them and getting their feedback, but it seems like you guys are anticipating their needs. Can you talk a little bit about how you decide on features and that listening process?
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in being a customer-driven company, right? We don't consider ourselves, although we have thoughts and opinions, we don't consider ourselves like the grand masters of interactive video. This is how it should be. So we work very closely with our customers, try to talk to every single one, no matter what, no matter what plan they're on, what they're paying us. We want to hear what they're trying to achieve. And, we try to synthesize that as a combination of what everybody's telling us and then decide on what to do. So if we hear something, 6 times, even though it might not be something we had in mind or necessarily want to make because it's hard, like that's what it's all about, helping them get to their goal, right? They need some sort of toggle that, I don't really want to add that, it's annoying, but if 6 people are wanting it, it makes sense for us to add it because it's all about helping them, achieve what they want.
Yeah, and it goes back to like what we were talking about. We talk about product development. Like, who are you designing this for? Who is your customer and how are they going to use it? And so often founders and startup companies get stuck in this kind of rut where they think they know best and they're really designing for themselves and they're not really designing for the end user and who is going to pay for their product. So I think that's like such a good characteristic that I just always see you guys kind of exuding, and your team has grown.
Yeah, we're 4 strong now. We're 4 strong. Yeah, we got 2 employees working here at a Groundswell. They're both awesome. But touching on that, like I think a lot of founders, like you said, can get caught up in the art of the product themselves. And I think that's especially difficult with interactive video, because interactive video is art, right? You're designing an experience that somebody's going through. It's not just the website design. You're building this product that lets people create these experiences, and I'm presenting this to you, and now you're going to go down my path, see what I've done, interact, right? So it's even easier to get caught up in the art of that, but it's all about keeping it locked down on helping the customer achieve what they want.
Yeah, it's all about their goals, and that's how you retain them. So that's really important. And so your team here, they're really impressive, right? You guys are a heads down, hard-working team, but super personal. And I know Tyler recently joined your team. He told me that his nickname is ET, which yes. I'm excited to learn more about. But tell me a little bit about the team that you've built and what it's like hiring in this climate as a growing startup.
Yeah, certainly. I won't lie, I've been working on Mindstamp since 2017. Putting in a lot of work pretty independently up until early 2020 when we hired. And I had a lot of nervousness around hiring. It's giving control out to somebody else. It's trusting somebody with your baby, right? I'm sure everybody goes through this. But we put out a job post on Indeed or one of those sites for a remote customer success manager and ended up getting an application from Tyler, ET. Stands for Enterprise Tyler, because Tyler closes enterprise deals. He's got a little ET figure in his office. It's awesome. But we ended up getting an application from here. He lives up in Vieira, and we're like, okay. And he actually, one of the things we like to do when we hire is, hey, create an interactive video. Like, show that you have an understanding of what it can be and like the power that it brings to the table. It's not just another video marketing platform, right? So Tyler absolutely crushed his initial video. He put everything in there, and then what really sealed the deal was after he came in here at Groundswell, we had an interview right in this room here, and instead of sending a follow-up email, he sent a follow-up interactive video. Yeah. And he played these two. One of the features of Mindstamp is you can put video clips on top of the video, right? So you have content, you want to show a little 10-second clip up in the corner of something else to augment the content. Tyler did that, and he played 2 roles. So he was, he's at the camera. He's like, "Dear Brett, thank you for the interview." And he's like, "Wait, what am I doing?" Or no, he put a video clip, and the video clip calls in. And it's Tyler on it. He goes, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, you're applying for an interactive video platform. Why are you sending a follow-up email?" And he's like, "Oh, that's right. Thank you so much for, here's my LinkedIn. Here's this. Click here to email me." And we're just like, it's done. Yeah. And Tyler, I like to describe him as a bulldog. He's just relentless. He's shown such an adept understanding of interactive video for somebody he came from Verizon, not super technical. He's shown an amazing pace of learning of, the technicalities. He's going back and forth with technical components for clients like that. And he's just done an amazing job, and we're so super, super lucky to have Tyler.
Yeah.
He's coming up on his 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
It's going to be ET Day.
Are you going to get Chipotle for his 1-year anniversary?
We've got a lot of options. Chipotle is our normal.
They are fueled by Chipotle.
Yes. I'd say 70% of the time we get Chipotle for lunch. We love it. We're simple. Yeah. But yesterday we got some, let's talk about burrito. Ooh. Yeah, really good.
That's really very good. But I think what you describe about Tyler is so true for startups, and that you have to hire sometimes for grit and characteristics, right? Because they have to be in the trenches with you. They have to be scrappy, and they cannot take no for an answer because there's nobody else that's going to do their task when you're in such a small team and you're putting everything into it. So I think that's just like a really good example. And I want to go back to how you started off answering that question, which is having other people put their hands on your baby, which is really, really hard for founders to do. So as you grow your team, you push off some of those responsibilities and your role shifts, right? Your responsibility shifts. So how has that been for you, and kind of speak to that transition for you personally?
Yeah. Like I said, I was nervous to do it. It's find every reason under the sun. It's just going to be more management for me, blah, blah, blah. But my co-founder, Andrew, really pushed ahead, which I'm thankful for. He's like, we're doing this. It's time. You're gonna enjoy it on the other side. And like I said, I'm super happy. I really do enjoy it on the other side. I can't imagine life without our team now, just because we have such synergy. It's not just like a +1 or +2 for a new employee. It's a ×6. We all make each other better like that. So we've got Tyler, and we also have Scott. His nickname is Papa Scott. He's the #1 dad. He's always got the #1 dad mug.
I love that.
He's on the engineering side. So between Tyler, handling a lot of customer communications, Scott working on our back end, a lot of engineering support, it's really allowed me to zoom out and, my nickname is Captain. So it's allowed me to step to the back of the ship and actually steer, as opposed to be, bailing out the well and trying to put on a board like that. So I still like to get down and dirty. Me and Tyler still, get together and achieve customer goals like that. But generally, it's allowed me to zoom back and really orchestrate the higher vision.
Yeah, if you hold on to it forever, it won't grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's nice to have help.
Yeah, and it's fun, It's fun. We come in, me and Tyler are in here all the time. Scott lives up there, and he's got 2 babies, so he comes in once a week. That's our team day. It's always a really good day. Get some Chipotle.
Yeah.
Get a post Chipotle espresso. We've got the scenario down, so it's awesome. We really love the culture and the energy we have around a team.
Yeah, you can just tell when you guys are together that you guys really work well together. So let's talk about data, because Mindstamp is really about providing incredibly powerful insight and data to your customers, right? Mm-hmm. You're not only providing this platform where they could do creative things, but they can track those creative things and they can understand what works. Tell us about data.
Yeah. So that's like the second part of the equation, right? The first part is getting your viewer to do what you want them to do, whether that's learn the content, whether that's answer the questions. And the second part is understanding what they did while through that experience, right? So, everything you do on Mindstamp, you get a view report for every single time somebody's watched a video, time they started, stopped, every portion that they watched, all the interactions that they made. So it just goes a lot deeper than, the standard kind of video analytics of, hey, here's a drop-off graph, or they watched this video, we're not sure how much kind of thing. And then you can use that data, right? We have a bunch of integrations. So for example, HubSpot. If you're sending out a video in HubSpot, we can dynamically personalize that video to the HubSpot viewer. We can automatically track that they watched it, put it back into their CRM, enroll them in a workflow. Same thing with Constant Contact or any of your LMSs. So it's really, gathering that data as they go through that experience and then sending it back to your systems. And that's another area that we're, try to tempt down the ego, is that we understand that your data is valuable in other systems. We're not trying to create the master system. We try to make it valuable within our system, as valuable as it can be, but also make it accessible. So you're not constantly coming to Mindstamp being like, hey, who watched this? What did I watch? Nope, it's right in HubSpot. It's right in your CRM. You can get a rolling export. So you just really get insight as to how your content's resonating, where you're losing people, where people are clicking off, what's working, and then you can optimize after that.
And I think that, again, goes back to what you talked about earlier, right? It's what's in best interest of your customers. And the easier it is for them to use, the more accessible it is, the likelihood that they're going to keep using it and you're going to retain them. And I think that's really important. That's a common theme I think that you talk about all the time, is bringing it back to the customer.
Yeah, it's a wild combination of art and utility, right? Yeah. It's the artistic experience up front, it's the utility experience on the back end, and the data that comes out of that.
And you have a pretty dynamic co-founder. And you guys haven't raised any institutional funding just yet. Tell us about your co-founder and kind of the thought process on not taking funding.
Yeah, so my co-founder, Andrew Brooks, he started a couple different companies, sold a different couple companies. He's been down the venture route a number of times. He sold SmartThings to Samsung. And after that, that's when I was starting my company and we linked up. And he just had a good, kind of a good temperance. It's easy to think that you need to raise money, and in some situations you do. We're definitely not against raising money, but until you necessarily have a path to, using that money effectively, it's not really a good decision, in my opinion. It's very easy to bloat up your company with a ton of cash, hire people, spend a ton on marketing, and if that's not, producing more dollars in than it's coming out, then you're finding yourself in a problem. So we've been able to bootstrap the company and take a little bit of angel money from the network as needed, in order to help us achieve our goals, and that's worked really well so far. We might take capital going forward. If we say, hey, this is returning $10 for every dollar we put in, then let's pour some gas on it. But in the meantime, we really like owning the whole company. We like really having to be diligent about cash flow, about hiring. It just keeps things a lot more accountable when you have to, actually produce what you're putting out.
Yeah, it's a strategic decision on your guys' part, right?
Yeah, and obviously that's different for every company. If you're manufacturing a physical good, then you need some capital. How else are you going to manufacture that? But we manufacture software. Like, the margins are really high, so if we can get a $1,000, $2,000 a month client, that pays for itself, and it pays for a month, the whole month, just like that.
Absolutely. So I've used Mindstamp, right? I've used it to make videos here at Groundswell. We're promoting events. And it is really easy to use. Like, drag and drop, enter your links, change a color, easy to use. We love using it here. We can say, we're having an event next Thursday. People can just click on that video and sign up, like, right within the platform for our event. Tell us a little bit about that design and that ease of use.
Yeah, that's another area we really try to focus on. When you think video, you think video editors. You think of this really, a hundredth of a second timeline where you're overlaying 15 clips like that. And we recognize that for our use, we're not producing cinematic level video files, right? Your goal, we want to enable any single person, whether you're a marketing manager, a training coordinator, or the person responsible for blasting out those webinars, to create an interactive experience that is effective and works well and looks good. So to that point, we try to make it as simple as possible, and we hear that all the time, that people love how simple it is. So if you want, we have a set of buttons at the bottom for each interaction. You want to add a button while you're watching the video, you just click that, really showtime, high time, action, color, right? It's not you don't need any sort of technical experience. We enable people from all backgrounds, everything, to, create these powerful interactive videos. So we really focus on that and try to keep each other in check and say, because it's easy, especially as engineers, to be like, oh, well, it works, they can figure this out. And we do a good job of tempering each other, especially, E.T. and Andrew, who aren't necessarily technical like that. They'll be like, well, this is how I think when I see this. And it's like, well, okay, I'll make it simpler. I'll make it, a little bit better. But we really try to stick with that, because we think that's a huge thing, as I described, the simplest and most powerful interactive video platform around.
I like using it because I can make something really cool easily and quickly, but because of the platform, I feel very technically savvy after I do it, even though I'm not technical at all, right? It just kind of gives you that excitement and you feel when you're working with it.
Yeah, and a lot of the clients, especially in like the choose your own adventure experiences that we see, they've hand rolled these choose your own adventure experiences forever, right? They've got a web page, they'll play a video, and then they'll have a question, a separate part of the thing. Whatever they click, it's going to take them to another web page, or they have another video. So just like the people always say, like, man, I can't believe we coded this up for 6 months, and I can do this in 10 seconds on your platform. Upload the clips, put a button, link to the videos, done, just like that. So try to create it as quickly as possible while also retaining that power.
Yeah. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. So being an entrepreneur is hard. And I see that you are very good at tennis. I see it on Instagram. And you won a tournament recently too, right? Is that like an outlet for you? Is that your work-life balance? How do you maintain? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm super active, and I have to be super active or else I go crazy. Like, if I just sit here and work all day and drink a bunch of coffee and then try to go home, I can't do it. Tennis, they say tennis is the entrepreneur sport, and I think that that's true. Like, there's a lot of parallels. I know John plays tennis. Yeah. Just because there's so many points in tennis, you have to be consistently good throughout the whole match, right? And you can go down and you can come up. It's not just, it's very easy to get discouraged, and you have to mentally reset and, tell yourself that you're good enough to win every single point. And if you make a mistake, you really gotta, bring that mental back. But yeah, I'm a semi-professional tennis player, as I like to say now. I'm actually playing a tournament this weekend down in Boynton Beach. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I love seeing you make achievements here at Groundswell and at tennis. Before we close out, tell us, in the next 6 months, what's on the horizon for Mindstamp?
Close more deals, continue to improve the product, more features. We've got some cool partnership opportunities in the works. I think it's still very early for interactive video. That's something I've always said. A lot of the times when people come to us, they're like, holy crap, I didn't know any of this was possible. Now I really got to rethink how I'm thinking about things, right? It's not just the standard create an animated video, put it on YouTube and post it to Facebook. It's like, whoa, I can actually, personalize this video and send the data back to HubSpot, create a new workflow based on that. So people have their minds kind of blown, and then they start thinking in the second and third order effects of what interactive video enables. So continue that educating. I still think that more and more as time goes on, interactive video is going to be more popular. So just continue that educating, empowering people, and just continue improving our product.
Working hard. I love it. Well, I hope from this episode of Zero Clicks you took away that all video content will be interactive in the next decade. So jump on it now. Go on that Mindstamp website. Personalization of video content drives outside results and will be the norm for businesses looking to make an impact and being able to track that impact. And Mindstamp really is the simplest and most powerful interactive video solution available today. And you can find this episode of Zero Clicks on all the normal places you can find a podcast, as well as the Groundswell Startups YouTube page, LinkedIn, and anywhere you can find us on social. As always, we're going to end this episode with asking our guests 3 words to describe Groundswell. So Brett, what are your 3 words to describe Groundswell?
Ooh, that's a good one. Energetic, supportive, and caffeinated.
I like that. Well, you can connect with Brett on LinkedIn, and you can learn more about Mindstamp at visiting mindstamp.io. Highly encourage you to jump on, start a trial, check it out, and just play around and see what you can make with their very powerful platform. And if you want to learn more about Groundswell Startups, you can visit us at swellstartups.com, visit us at LinkedIn, or stop in here on Irwin Street and take a tour. Thanks so much for joining us.